Hey y'all, welcome to Other Realm Studio. This is Paula. Tonight's topic is mermaids. I didn't run a poll for this one. I just wanted to draw mermaids. So hang on just a second while I put on my giant blue blocker nerd glasses and check to make sure that all of my streaming channels are doing what they need to be doing. I don't know what is going on with YouTube currently. So if you're on YouTube, I don't know where to find the comments right now. I have not entirely figured out my way around it. I'm also on Twitch as Other Realm Studio. And on Facebook as myself. So, let's see. Oh no. Okay. At least I have one of my screens where it belongs. So the idea is that I'm creating a field guide to Other Realm Studio. Or well, to the Other Realm. And I'm drawing sketches of the different creatures that are in the world. And that's to kind of commemorate my first comic that I've made. I've finished issue 1 of Soulbound. It's going to be a 10-issue series, which, hang on, let me adjust my mic. It's going to be a 10-issue Portal Fantasy Adventure series. It's about Becca, who's a pragmatic med student, suddenly thrown into a world of magic, myths, and monsters. And together. Let's see. And I had a whole thing written up about it too, but I can't quite remember what the whole thing is. You know, my concise summary of the entire story and everything. But you will be able to see the concise summary of the entire story when I launch my Kickstarter campaign for pre-orders for the book. And that will be this month. I was thinking the 11th, but maybe I'd better make it the 12th. I was just looking at the calendar today, and I would rather completely concentrate on getting the Kickstarter launch done. And I realized there were a few other things going on that same day. Let's see, I think I like the direction that this line is taking, so I will erase this one and think about that later. But, I have a lot of my favorite things in this world that I've been working on. And it's been a lot of fun working out how the story's going to go. And the relationships between all the characters, and also the environment and the cultures and the habitats of all the animals, and you know, just really making it a fully realized world. But in order to get the plot to move along at a reasonable pace, I need to know all this world building stuff, but the reader does not. I mean, it's very possible that mermaids are not necessarily going to be a thing introduced in the world in this particular series. I mean, they will be later. But possibly not in this one. And you know, there's other things that, you know, you just can't fit it into a comic book or even an entire series of comics and expect all of it to have a place. So that's one reason why I'm doing this guide, and also as a little something extra for backers of the campaign to have. If I get, you know, 10 backers, I'll add one of these. Let me see. I think I want to turn this actually a bit. Can I turn it? Rotate. No, not the paper. Never mind. I'll get back to it. But yeah, after I reach a certain number of backers, I'll have one of the pages of the Kickstarter Okay. Hang on, I started on 2 sentences at the same time, and that's not good. Okay. So I'll release 1 page of the field guide for every 20 backers on the Kickstarter as a PDF, you know, just a downloadable to all backers. And I don't know if you can hear the video game noise going on, but it's the other side, it's the other end of the house. We should be all right. So I think I'm liking most of the layout of this one, so I'm going to go ahead and put my new layer on top and do some sketching. So let me pick a good color for the sketch. Usually I go with the hot pink for just my layout, because I'm hardly ever going to draw anything that's going to stay hot pink. And it's very bright and easy to tell apart. So, could go with a straight up dark green. Or a blue. I don't know, I think I've already used blue. So I'll just zoom in on her face. Let's see. So I do like the mermaids to have very hooded eyes and not a lot in the way of eyelids. So let's see. And I want to keep in mind that I want this nose very flattened out, but I don't think I'm going to use that particular line to do it. So I'm going to come back here. So I don't really think that it makes a whole lot of sense for mermaids to have hair if they're going to be fish and have fish tails, unless of course we're going with some variety of mermaid that is a warm-blooded thing and has more of a dolphin tail. And even then, dolphins are not particularly fuzzy creatures. Maybe something more like a selkie. I'm not drawing a selkie though. I'm drawing a mermaid. So I think for at least this variety of mermaid, we're going to go with fins. I'm trying to make better decisions on this jawline. Still not entirely happy with that. Maybe I do need to turn it. Maybe not. So I think if I do this and make it like a short lip, that's gonna work. Alright, that looks much better. So if we hide the sketch, you can see how much more like a fish it's turning out than my original. But the original is just the bones. I don't have to go exactly by what it says. Although the better my underlying sketch is, the more easy I'm going to have it Let me see. So far I'm liking how this is turning out. So yeah, I was just really in the mood to do a mermaid today. I'm going to try to make this a shorter stream. Last night I managed to do what I wanted to do in a reasonable amount of time, but then I had some work to do later, so today I've worked a little bit harder at getting all my stuff done. Nope, not happy with this. Or that. Or the other. Okay, I'm going to think this over for a bit. Okay. Alright, I think I have it worked out. About what's going to happen with this. So yeah, y'all get to see the planning stages and everything, including the parts where I'm not quite sure what it is I am doing. So I haven't really had a lot of formal art training. I've had, I started off going to art classes at Tech, and I took a few foundational courses, but really didn't get into a lot of the fine art stuff. And then I quit going there because, well, various stuff, but one of the things was my advisor there was terrible and was more interested in filling up his classes than in doing things that would be useful for me as an artist or anything else, really. It was not a good fit for me. And so then I decided that maybe it was the entirety of art that wasn't a good fit for me, and I changed my major to English, and I was doing fabulously well in that. I graduated with honors in the 4 years. And I also had a summer class that was just an art class, and that introduced me to calligraphy, which was just fascinating. I loved working with pen and ink. It was really wonderful. I fell in love with that media for a while. But then, after a few years, I discovered digital, which, yeah, a lot of people knew all about digital long before me. But I'm really loving this media now. I mean, for one thing, I get all these layers to work with, and I can just hide them when I need them. Or when I need to. And bring them back when I need them back. Erasing's easy and I never make holes through my paper. The only trouble is I don't know where quite all the settings are. So I'm using Clip Studio Paint EX. So I went ahead and got the full version. And I have a nice tablet now. I'm using the Wacom Intuos. I started off with GIMP and a tablet from Monoprice that may have cost $20. And you know what? It's really nice to have good tools. I think I'm going to make new lines for these because it really does need to be a fluid line coming through here, and you just can't get that by tracing over the last lines that you did. So actually, probably the under sketch is messing me up a little bit. Come on. Why is my scrolling function being really strange right now? Alright, let's do this. What is going on? Oh. Okay, so my mouse was competing with my pen for a second. Alright. I think that if I undo this line, this is going to come through here. Maybe not quite there. But that needs to be a bit more muscular. Because mermaids are not that fragile. Alright, so if right here we have the spine bending, then one fluke is going to be this way. Close. And then the other one is going to be pretty much behind here. Alright, so get that. So, yeah, I can hardly believe that I've gotten as far as I have. Okay, that doesn't need to be so long. Let's back that up, and where's this end supposed to be? And probably right about there for a short one. Okay. So this right here Needs to be lengthened for the palm. So, I do need to correct this line from the wrist to the elbow. Okay, so starting here, there's the elbow. Yeah, I think I see what's going on here. So let me see, what can I do about this? So yeah, one of the other reasons why I really, really like digital. Is this gonna move? Come on. Well, occasionally this is why I like digital. Am I working in the wrong layer? That's probably what's going on. Why do I have all these layers? Okay. Okay. Now, working with this one. What is going on here? I did this thing perfectly yesterday. And I've missed something here. I don't know. I'll have to come up with that later. You know, I don't really like that. I don't think that these lines are worth keeping anyway. So I just need to correct my proportions here. I need to make this more curved. Let's see. And that's gonna fix that a bit. So yeah, after a lot of drama in my college life, I ended up with an English degree. And now I'm really glad to be getting into comics finally. Oh, I have been concentrating on the art, and I didn't see you until just now, Beastonian, on Twitch. Hey, glad you're here. What is going on indeed? So, I have a mermaid with somewhat of a tricky pose that I had in mind, that I'm taking from a sketch to, well, to line art. So, and also my husband's playing Fortnite. So if you catch another voice in here, that's him. So let's see. Going to change this pose on the fly because I can. What on earth are you talking about? I don't have an accent at all. Well, everybody loves the Australian accent. The results for the Southern accent are somewhat mixed. So I do tend to draw a little bit more than normal when I'm working. So let me see. Okay, I'm gonna have to turn down my mic. My husband is back there discussing the game with whoever it is he's playing with. Yeah, we're gonna have to get him his own channel. Yeah, I'm sure that Australian accents have as much variety in them as, you know, the various regional ones in the US. But I don't quite know enough of them to be able to tell which one I'm listening to. Yeah, I know I've heard several varieties of British accents. So, there was a family we met once, and they had a little 2-year-old. They were from, goodness, where exactly were they from? Was it New Zealand? Anyway, somewhere on the other end of the world. And so their little 2-year-old started acquiring not really a accent, but he started saying y'all, and his parents were horrified. What on earth? Y'all is a perfectly acceptable word. You need it when you're referring to multiple people. And you don't mean just you. You is a rather harsh thing to say occasionally. But, well, I don't have any room to talk. My daughter watches a lot of British YouTubers, and she hasn't really acquired the British accent. People say she does, but it's not really that. It's more the cadence. Well, yeah. But, to you, it's just American TV. To us in the States, it's coastal TV, pretty much. That's not like the regular American accent or the regular American anything. They do a pretty good job of portraying California and New York. And by New York, I only mean the cities. But put any of these American TV shows, any of the movies, put any of them in the South, and they will get it so wrong. I mean, the accents are ridiculous. Like, they can't hold one accent from one region for an entire movie. They've got to do like 40 different regions because they can't hear the difference. I mean, my sister's telling me I talk like a Yankee. But I have more of a Carolina accent, and theirs is from Georgia. Or at least that's what I think is going on. So one of the things that I would love to see is more countries and more regions in the U.S. as well making their own entertainment and not relying on what Hollywood wants to do all the time. I mean, it's not healthy to have one particular area dominate the entertainment industry for as long as Hollywood has at least attempted to dominate the world as far as entertainment goes. So that's what I'd like to see. So you want to tell apart Atlanta and New Orleans. I'm not sure I can even do an accent from either Atlanta or New Orleans. Yeah, I don't think I could. Oh goodness, New Orleans itself has several. Well, I have noticed a problem with government funding to the arts. You know, whoever holds the paycheck, whoever is writing the paycheck, is the person who determines the content. So, if you get the government involved in funding the arts, pretty soon you're funding propaganda. So I kind of prefer to leave that to the free market. Then at least you get a little closer to funding what people want, you know, in their region. Because they'll pay for what they particularly are interested in seeing. But, you know, you get politicians being the ones to pay for what they're interested in seeing, and yeah, they have terrible taste. It's kind of garbage. Insurance companies have better ads than anything paid for by the government. So I'm just going to edge out this one so you can tell the difference between this fin and that fin a little easier. And then I want to put some more detail up on the facial features. Now don't try and get me going on a rant about how every form of media is being eaten by an enormous mouse. Okay, for y'all on my other streams on YouTube and on Facebook Live, I'm having an intense debate or conversation with Bostonian in Australia. Yeah, I just don't think that the government's taste is any better than what's currently running the show in Hollywood. And any small studio that makes a splash by being innovative and creative gets bought by a bigger one and is just milked for all it's worth, is what Bostonian just said. And yeah, which really what I would love to be doing if I could get off the ground, I would love to start a small animation studio and do projects. I want to do my comic series that I'm coming out with as a cartoon series that does not have the bean mouth animation style that's in everything else currently. And I want to do it the way I want it done, and I'm not going to sell it out to anybody. I mean, I'm talking big now, but even if I did have anything that there would be a risk of me selling it out, I wouldn't want to. I would want to keep it. They'd have to sue me out of existence. Before I'd let them buy me out. If I had something. And you know, it's getting closer to possible every day that goes by. The technology's getting better. I mean, the labor's getting cheaper, although I would want to keep it in the U.S. I appreciate it, Bostonian. It's on the list of things to do when I win the lottery. If I ever played the lottery. I know, I'm still figuring out how to use OBS and everything. So I really haven't been doing this very long, but I've been working on live streaming every night just so that I can get used to talking. Usually what I do is I have ideas and I start working on them and I just keep them to myself forever. So that's not a good method of getting anywhere. So I finally got good internet out here. Finally, my upload speed's good. I can actually do live cast, and I decided to quit dithering over it and do it. And so here we are, and I'm learning as I go. Alright, catch you later, Bostonian. Hope you come back. Here I am, meeting people, making friends. Drawing mermaids. I kind of suspected sooner or later somebody would say something about my accent. Alright, let me straighten up for just a minute. I've been having like terrible posture and hunching over my board, so I need to stretch. If you hear an audible crack, that's me. Okay, so I'm going to tidy up this line right here. More of it needs to curve. Mermaids are very flexible creatures. I am a little bit early for Mermay, which is the art challenge where you draw a mermaid a day for every day in May. But I keep trying to do these challenges and I never manage to do them every day. I lose track of where I am, and why is this jumping? Okay. Nope. Usually this only happens when autosave is coming on, but right now it's not autosaving. Okay. Alright, my stylus is behaving again, I think. Let's go this way. And erase this line here. So I weirdly have a difficult time doing the daily challenges for the monthly things, the monthly art challenges or whatever, but it has not been that difficult to do a live stream every day. I've been keeping this up for over a week now. About a week and a half. And I'm guessing that what's made it easier to keep this up is I've picked a time for it, which is right after I put my kids to bed. I have a few minutes to myself, especially if I've taken care of other stuff that needs taken care of. Let's see. And it's easier to remember to do something at a time every day, especially a time that's already tied to something else, than it is to remember to do something a specific day of the week. Or to say, I'm starting a habit for just a month. I'm not necessarily starting a habit. I'm trying to figure out what am I doing if I'm not necessarily starting a habit. So I want to do something interesting with the eyes here. I've kind of had a theme going with the eyes, so I think I'm going to try and continue that here. Oh, what I want to do, I will have to zoom in and hope that my little scrolling feature doesn't bounce this thing back and forth too much. Okay, here we are. Let's go with this finer line. So if I'm not starting a habit of live streaming every day, but yet I am actually managing to do this thing, maybe it's just one of those things that's easier to do if I don't think too much about it. Overthinking is the death of getting things done. Let's see. Something darker in here. Come on, autosave. No, that's not what I wanted to do at all. Let's start over on this. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what's going to be the best use for that tool. And the only thing I can do is trial and error. There may be a manual out for this program now. I have it on my wish list on Amazon. I don't know if it's still pre-order only or if it's actually published now. Nope. Something is odd here. Okay, there it goes. So I have a very specific thing that I want to do here, but I can't think exactly how I want to do it. I've narrowed in on what the color should be. So I think what I'm going to do is sketch about where I want it to go and then use the blending tool. Which I do a lot of blending. For some reason, the blending tool feels more natural to me than the regular digital suite here that I have. Probably because I've actually painted more in real life. But I'm learning how to do this, and what's really wonderful is the undo button and all the layers. Okay, here we are. See, this is about what I wanted to do with the other tool, but yeah, I didn't know exactly how to do it. So my usual fallback. I give it a shot, and then if it doesn't work, I go back to my old painting. And I never did decide what to do about the nose here. It's in this area. Go back to this color for a second. Are we doing any more with it necessarily? This is more like the upper lip. Or just under the nose. I think I'll leave it. And let's pull out and see our whole thing. I like her a lot. This tail is especially fancy. And let's do a title. And I want to take that off. That was an old setting. I don't need that. So when I put this in the field guide for the comic, or well, to go with the comic, I'll have a little write-up on her habits and habitat and whatever other pertinent information there is about mermaids, some of which I really don't know. So I just need to scoot her someplace. So there's a little room over here on this side to actually put some information. And of course I need to sign it. Oh, come on. Ah, there it is. Lost my pen. Alright, thank you so much for joining my stream, keeping me company. I appreciate it. Let me zoom out so that we can see this. If you're interested in seeing more, please subscribe to my newsletter at www.otherrealmstudio.com. And I'll be able to let you know when the Kickstarter for the full comic goes live. Or well, the full issue 1 of the comic. And yeah, I think I'll be touching her up a little bit before she's ready to go in the field guide page, but I like her. She's doing pretty well. So, thanks for coming to see me. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the other realm. Good night.